All right. Just wanted to show off my GSI GXL V2 wheel that I've been using for a while since like Christmas. It was the thing I wanted to get from her for Christmas for me, or one of the things. But I wanted to be driving this while I had my Christmas break, so so I get a little fun. So I got this for sports cars. I have a FCore as well right here. So I use this for formulas. So one of the big drawbacks of this wheel was like the location. Some people thought these shifters were a little light. I actually didn't mind that. But there's a new version called the Evo that tries to fix some of these issues. Also, some of the issues that are in the original FCore were the plastic switchgear, sort of thing. These are all aluminum now on the Evo. Yeah. I do enjoy this wheel, but it doesn't have near the light show as you see on the GXL V2 from GSI. So speaking of build quality, they both are very, very solid. A lot of aluminum and carbon fiber plate, and aluminum backing, very similar to this. Very comfortable, both of them. Cube Controls is very good at ergonomics, maybe a slightly better on the Cube model, but this feels really good too. So I like the slightly wider diameter. I think this is like 290 or something like that, and it's a little lighter, so it feels better, more snappy for formula, a little bit more snappy. I like these for sports cars, so that's how I'm using them, sort of thing. So I'm actually using Daniel Newman Racing, as you see for the dashboard. So I used the endurance dashboard from Daniel Newman. So if we go into Sim Hub, I actually have in the Daniel Newman tab, I actually have GXL V2 loaded. And as you see, I can, I'm in pause. So let's go in idle mode, and it actually changes right there. So it's all controlled from there. Also controlling the LEDs on all three devices here. Through Daniel Newman profiles, and you can kind of control those in different areas, but that's not, there's the endurance dashboard that I'm using right now, so that's kind of cool. I like how Daniel Newman does their, like LED profiles to each car. Maybe down the road, I start using something a little more cost effective. This is like $8 a month if you do the flag box, or it's like roughly $4, just to get the wheel, stuff like that, and be able to get some of the settings on the dashboard, endurance dashboard. So that's the main reason I do the sub. There is a free version if you want you're okay with the default settings on there, and then don't want to use it with your wheels or anything, if you just want to use dashboard. But I do have the sub for the time being, to take advantage of those changes in profiles. And my setup might have been a little lazy on this, but my setup in SynHub for the flag box didn't have like some of the lesser used flags, like the slippery surface flag. So and this also like pops up when like, turn on your pit limiter, turn off your pit limiter. You just had an incident, kind of like the push it home that you need to react to, or remember that you can't do, go off track there. So that sort of thing. So I kind of wanted to jump into a race to kind of show some of the eye candy that's like the show here. But other things on the wheel are like the buttons. I like them a little better than it still feels good and clicky on the FCore, but they're just like more satisfying here, and they give you good tactile feedback. They both do. Give you good tactile feedback, and you actually get a visual. You saw that when I pressed the button, it would started flashing on you. So that's very cool. I like it. So the shifters, very positive shifts, very sure shifts. Not too heavy, not too light. Sort of thing. So I like the feel of them. I did the carbon fiber paddles. You can do aluminum paddles, and then kind of like the housing for the shifters is like aluminum. So looks very nice. So I'm doing the pass through USB, but as you see there's a USB cable here. I wound that around my quick release sort of thing. So to get that installed. But anyway, let's jump in to this AI race just so you can see kind of like the flag effects that we're getting through the wheel. So and we start up and we get to see that cool animation. This race will actually have a parade lap, so we can talk about a few things as we do that. So you can see the endurance dashboard. That's all Daniel Newman. So I like using that. This wheel is actually, I think there's a Pro Formula version of this that is like the same, except it doesn't have the screen. So I have a DDU that I like to use on all my wheels. So I have like 3 wheels: a round wheel, the Formula wheel, and then the sports car wheel, which is this one, of course. So I just swap them between the 3 of those, depending on the type of racing, which is pretty cool. So you see those LEDs. So I'll have the LEDs on my dashboard and the LEDs on the wheel there. I pay more attention to ones up here actually, so that matters less, but I do notice them. What I notice more is when we hit the rev limiter. I'll show you that a little bit when we're racing. The rev limiter will actually flash at you, so that's very cool. So you'll see that in your peripherals, sort of thing. Another thing you'll see in your peripherals when there's a car next to us, so pay attention to that. When there's a car next to us, my flag box will show an arrow on which side it is in a very bright purple color, and you'll see it flashing on whatever side of the wheel that's happening at. So if they're on both sides, I believe it flashes on both sides. So it's actually pretty smart. So I do like that, and that's mostly Daniel Newman doing that. But all these things you could probably program in SimHub yourself. But just take the time. I didn't. There may be other ones out there. I think it was ASTR, if I'm saying that right. They may have some setup where it's more cost effective, but this was just super easy to set up. And they did a lot of work out of the box, with this setup. So I'm using this for now, but can get spendy over time for something like that. And we're getting close here. Maybe I'll back up a little bit and then we can kind of see. So, see the flash? Very cool. So it flashed in red line. Gives a good red flash to it. Another cool profile they had was the Golf one. So kind of like the Golf livery. Old Golf livery. There must be a setting for a shorter parade lap, huh? All right, so we're getting ready here. Watch out for the green. So my flag box should go green. The DDU and the wheel should go green. So there, I'm redlining it on purpose there. So you see that? Oh, everything's green. See, it's flashing green there. Very nice. And then we'll get alongside someone here. And you see the purple. Very nice. See if I just dive bomb someone here. You should be able to see it. Yep. And then he cut me off too. But anyway, that's kind of showing what you're going to see there. Most of the flags are covered as well. You'll see like a checkered flag, kind of like pattern, white flag. When that happens. And there you are on the right hand side. So yeah, and you hear how loud the shifters are there as well. They're not super quiet, like the Cube Control ones, because they're plastic, or like some composite. They're much quieter. You know, but these are a little more sure. You know, definitely heavier feeling. If that's your thing, you know, sort of thing. So I don't mind either one, actually. Honestly, with sports cars, I like the heavier feeling, just because you kind of like muscle it a little more than you would in a Formula car. Formula car is a little twitchier. Yeah, and there's alongside me again. So, oops, I'm a little deep. Trying to keep him alongside me. There we go. And you see him again. So, anyway, that is... I can just pause it here. Yeah, that is... oh, and I pause it right when that's happening. So, yep. So you kind of see the eye candy and how fun that kind of is, but just kind of show that off. All right, so yeah, I'm really enjoying the wheel. I do like the FCore still. I was looking for the Astra, another budget wheel from Cube. You know, that one actually has more of a light show that you could use with like Danel Newman profiles. You know, or other profiles to configure on there, but not quite as like crazy as this one is. You know, but they didn't really have supply, so I ended up going this way. But yeah, I really enjoy it. They sent it out pretty quick for me, even though they were under a lot of because it was they were going pretty heavy and getting the interlock out at the time. So, but yeah, love their community too. So. That's another thing to be said, you know, like jump in the Discord. They're fun guys over there. So anyways, thanks for listening. Bye.